At the age of 2, hindi pa siya nagsasalita.
We noticed that every time we call him, he will not respond. So we thought he was deaf.
He can't communicate and interact. He doesn't look at my eyes when he talks. And quite hyperactive. He has his own dialogue.
So that was the first time we heard the word autism. For me, I thought the world fell on me and my family.
Para akong namatayan. Iyak ako ng iyak.
When is she going to get well?
Paano yan? Wala nang future yung anak ko.
Where do we go from here?
Sometime in 1987, my mama got together with 10 other mothers.
How did we meet? How did we get together? It's a long story. But finally, 11 mothers and fathers thought that it would be good to get together and really organize to be able to help others. We realized that there are many other parents who would need our advice and our support.
Sa umpisa, in the beginning, we did not really have much, 5,500 in the bank, some books and tapes, some materials from other autism organizations. Hindi namin to ginawang balakid. We had meetings in our own homes, kanya-kanyang dala ng merienda. One of us had a store, so doon namin nilagay ang aming mga materials and tapes and books for the library. And through the many hours of sharing these experiences, these agonies, and our hopes and our dreams, we found the strength to take the first step towards realizing our dreams for our children.
It was heartwarming to find out that there were others who understood our situation and are willing to help. We found strength in that overwhelming support, and somehow what seems to be a path so difficult to tread seemed a little easier.
Since nauna kami, nagtulungan kami, more or less we know how to cope and manage with the situation. So we want other parents to feel this. Malaman nila na hindi sila nag-iisa.
And on March 19, 1989, the Foundation for Autistic Children and Adults of the Philippines was born.
Mama and her ACAP co-founders used to meet here at home and in others' homes. It wasn't easy during those years.
The first few years were definitely a struggle. Only a handful would attend meetings. And ang dami namin gustong gawin, pero konti lang kami, no? We rooted our problems to several factors. Children were subject to ridicule. There was very little support. Programs then were nearly non-existent. Because very few people knew about autism, we thought that it was important, and it became our cornerstone program, to have public awareness and public information campaigns. So we wrote articles which were published in magazines and newspapers. And we held orientation seminars for parents, professionals, and those who are interested in learning more about autism. And to raise funds, we held movie benefits. We had many little fundraising activities. And in 3 years, we grew from 12 to 52. As we raised more funds, as we had more and more members, we provided more services to our members, like referral services to doctors and schools. We had the ACAP news, and we had furnished our libraries with more books and more tapes and more materials.
The first trisectoral conference on autism was a groundbreaking event. It was the first symposium that was organized by parents, medical practitioners, and educators. And it was the first event that we had more than 100 participants. Before, we would just be parents who would invite the educators or doctors as resource persons. But this time, we were in it together. It was a big opportunity for us to network. It was the first time also that we had government agencies come and listen about autism, because before, it was almost unheard of. There were many myths about autism that were dispelled, and a lot of new knowledge was exchanged between the therapists, the parents, and the schools.
From ACAP to ASP, from an office in a home to a home in an office. These and many more were accomplished between 1993 and 1999.
In July 1993, a delegation attended the first international conference on autism in Toronto, Canada. ACAP was put in touch with its counterparts in other corners of the world. 2,300 delegates from 47 countries. In May 1994, the foundation assumed a new name for easier recall and to make it similar to those of other organizations around the world. In March 1995, we found a new and more permanent home. Through a grant from the Danish International Development Authority, the Danish Council of Organizations of Disabled People, and the Danish Society for Autism, we were able to put up an office and engage the services of a full-time staff. Every year in the following years, a national conference on autism was held for members to get together and update their knowledge about autism and the range of interventions and treatments. It also afforded the society the venue to discuss ways by which the organization could develop to respond to the needs of its members. The year 1996 was marked by a milestone event. President Fidel Ramos, through Proclamation 711, declared the third week of January as Autism Consciousness Week and designated 3 departments as focal points for this purpose. The celebration of Autism Consciousness Week gave ASP not only the venue for raising public awareness and understanding of autism, but also the opportunity to work together with the public sector.